taking a session on how to find a job, and he asked me, okay, what is the group mix of the people that you would be addressing? And I said, I don't know. And he said that giving a presentation to an audience you don't know anything about is like writing a love letter with a heading, to whomsoever it may concern. So that's why I thought just to have a mix, just to get to know about what is the mix of the audience that is present here. So we'll try to make this session as interactive as possible. You can hold me, you can ask me a question at any point of time. You can just ask me to stop at any point and ask me a question. And I'll try to add, you might be knowing a lot of things about how to search a job. I'll be trying to add something from my experience. I am Ishan Tandon and I am not a relative of Raveena Tandon. People do ask me this a lot of time, but I am not a relative of Raveena Tandon. So what I'll do is that I have been into this sector just 2 years. I passed out of college in the year 2010. I am a campus hire. So how I can help you in this is that I can share my personal experiences about how I went about the job selection. That you've had experiences of the recruiters, people who take interviews, people who've been recruiting people, and now the person who's gone through the grill very recently. Okay? Okay, so I'm ready for my first slide. Career versus jobs. This has been talked about by Sunil and a few more speakers. So I would just quickly want to ask you, what is the difference between career and job? It's a competition between team 1 and team 2.
Career is a long-term process, whereas job is at the moment.
Right. Pretty much on the line. Job is, you get something out of the job. Say, I'm studying and I need some money to pay my fees. And I take up a job at McDonald's as a waiter for some time. Just to earn the money for that point of time. That's a job, but I'm not looking at it as a with a long-term perspective. So that is a job. But right now for this session, we'll keep both careers and jobs as same. There's no difference between careers and jobs for this particular session. Okay. Campus recruitment. It's the easiest thing to get placed. If you're lucky, your college gets companies, it's the easiest thing. And the process that goes on to this, in campus recruitment, goes something like this. This has been talked about, aptitude test, technical interviews, HR interviews. Next slide. Group discussion. People ask me, why do you want to have a group discussion? The simple idea behind a group discussion is they want to know how you behave in a group. Assumingly me and he has an argument. How do we conduct ourselves in that argument is what the interviewer is looking at that point of time. If we start bashing each other, if we start abusing each other, that's a problem area. So when you are in a group discussion, you have to keep your calm. At times, the interviewers give you an abstract topic like black. That's a topic in group discussion. People get this topic. Black, you have to talk about black. Whatever your creativity, put in your creativity, whatever you want to think out of the box, whatever you have in mind, put your ideas, just speak. The important thing is how you behave in a group. How you behave when a person is speaking. Are you interrupting him in between? Are you ready to listen to the ideas of the other people? If you are ready to do that, that's what the quality that is being tested in group discussion. Aptitude test, it has been talked about earlier, but I'll just quickly go through because of my personal experience. I'll tell you what are the materials that I referred to during my college days. Maybe if you have time, you can refer to those materials. Quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, and puzzles. These are the three distinct parts of aptitude test. Quantitative is basic maths, 10 standard maths, speed, distance and time, work and time, geometry. That's the basic part. Logical reasoning is puzzles, not exactly puzzles, interpretation of data. There will be graphs given to you, there will be some situation given to you, and you have to solve that tricky word problem. Puzzles. Puzzles are similar to logical reasonings, but at a much tougher level than logical reasonings. So when I was in college, these were the books that I used to refer. It's not that I would say that these are the whole soul things that you could refer, but this is from my personal experience. These were the books that helped me. And to be honest to you, most of the company papers are from these books. 95%. That's how it is. R.S. Agarwal, Quantitative Aptitude for CAT by Arun Sharma, and online resources. Online resources are available everywhere. Logical Reasoning by R.S. Agarwal, online material. And Puzzles to Puzzle You by Shakuntala Devi. That's a very good book. Puzzles are, a good way to think, get to know how your thinking process is going on. Because at every step, the interviewer would ask you, okay, what are you thinking right now with this puzzle? What are you thinking right now? So the interviewer would get to know your step-by-step thinking process. Okay? So I'll just give you a puzzle right now. Next slide is a puzzle, and I'll give you a minute to just have a look at it. There are 25 horses and only 5 tracks in a race. How many races need to be run to select the top 3 horses, provided there is no stop clock? You have papers and pens, take your own time, think about it. Six. Okay, there's one assumption that I forgot to mention is that all horses always run at the same speed. Otherwise, you won't be able to find out right. 6. 5. Okay, options. 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do it in one. How? I mean, no, there are 5 tracks. There are only 5 tracks. You can have only 5 horses running at one point of time. There are only 5 tracks. How 5? That's how the interviewer is going to ask you, okay, why do you think 5? Because it is 5 tracks. If you have 5 tracks and you have 25 horses, you put 5 in each race, you will get top 3. How will you decide the top 3 out of 25? This is how it's going to be in an interview. They're going to tell you, you're going to give them an answer. They'll say, okay, how? And then they'll give you a counter logic for that, and then they'll make you think. And then they are going to test you how you build up upon that. Next. Yeah. 6 how?
I have 5. Time further will be running. In every race, one will be one every race. Right? There will be 5 winners in point 5. Then the next time the 5 will be running. From there we can see who came first, second, third.
But that's not necessarily that the winner of each race, say, okay, race 1, the number 1 is the best, fastest person. But the overall second is in the same race and he's come second in that same race.
We are not repeating the point 5 is running first time. the second 5 is running the second race.
Right.
3.
So, first race, assume that the horse that won the first race is the fastest among all 25. Okay?
All the 5, not 25.
Assume that he's fastest among the all 25, and the guy who's the horse in the second in the same race is the second fastest among the all 25, and you're not including him in that race. Okay, the answer for this is 7. You can just ponder upon it, and you can just drop me a mail if you still do not, you're still not satisfied with the answer. The answer is that you have 5 races, then you pick up the first from all those races, then the top 3 from there, and the person who's been the horse that has been first in the race, from that race, second and third horse. You got me? Okay. 5 horses in each race. You get 5 horses totally. 5 races are there. There will be a winner from each horse, from each race. 5 horses. You got it? Yes. Okay. So I'll just show you diagrammatically here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the winners. Now a race between them. Assume first, second, third. Now in this race, that horse has come second and that horse has come third. Right? You cannot decide, you cannot be sure that if there is a race between these people, this one would not beat this. This horse can beat this horse. So there will be 7 races. Right? Yeah. Same speed in the sense, always in the same speed. If you ask them to run a race, whenever they run a race, they run at the speed of a specific speed. Okay, let's leave it. Next slide. Okay, if by chance you have not got through campus recruitment or there is no company coming to your college, how do you do that? Job portals. So how many of you have uploaded your resumes onto job portal sites? And people who have not uploaded, is there a specific reason for doing that? Are you not looking for a job right now? Are you waiting for something? You know, if you give yourself opportunity, only then will you succeed. So you have to post your resumes on these websites. There are some important websites here that you might not have heard names of. College Khabar. It looks like a gossip site, but it's not a gossip site. This site gives you an information of the companies visiting the top premier colleges, say NITs, IITs. So what information you will get from here is that the company needs people. Say if Oracle goes to some college and it recruits 10 people, what it essentially means is that they require people. That's the information that you're looking for. Which company is hiring? That's what you are interested in. So this site is very useful. I've had a personal experience with this site. It's very useful. This governmentjobs.com, all the public sector jobs are posted on this. Entry level, MD level, all level jobs are posted. It has been made mandatory by the government to post all the job advertisements onto this site. So if you're looking for a government job, this is the one-all source for it. All the job advertisements related to the public sector, government jobs will be there on this site. You don't have to miss this site. Always, daily you have to check out this site. Rest are just normal, monster.com, naukri.com. I hope you all have resumes on this site.
Just to add what Ishan has told, the thing is it fine? Okay. The thing is how these job portals work actually. I mean, do you have any idea, on what way these job portals work? Forget about government jobs and this college cover and all, because they gives you information. What about the jobs portals that where you put your resume, how it works? Like in the morning session we had a very good speaker, he was telling about Bright Search, Bright Search and all. The same way it works. Have you ever been to any marriage bureaus? How many of you have been to marriage bureaus? Be honest. Okay. So the same way the job portals work. Always. For example, you have put your resume there in Naukri.com and you want Naukri.com to call you. Are you paying something to Naukri.com? No. You people have from different engineering backgrounds and professional degrees that you people have. But who will get the job? Call from Naukri.com is the people who are looking for call center executives and all. Okay, so you people are very professional. So what you need to do is like the marriage bureau. If I am searching a match for me, I will be visiting the marriage bureaus. I will be submitting my profile and my photo and everything. Okay, and every week I have to visit there and I have to shortlist few profiles for myself. And I have to give to that particular person. And what he will do, he will make the calls to those people which I have shortlisted. Then he will make an appointment. Listen, here, okay, fine, right? So the way, similarly, when we are keeping our resume in Naukri.com, what we need to do is daily we need to log in, search your profile, search your technical skills. For example, I belong to instrumentation. I'll put instrumentation in the search tab. I'll put my level of experience. I'll hit the search button. Then it will list the jobs related to the topic which I am looking for. Then you have to log in and apply. At that time, the resume from the Naukri.com database will get into the database of the company which you are applying for. So don't just put your resume and wait for the call. You need to update it like the maintenance factor, which you had a very good session right before lunch. The maintenance factor that comes here. You need to update your resume there, and you need to apply there. Not just wait and watch by keeping a resume, because you will be hearing number of people mentioning that they have kept our resume 2 years back, still I'm not getting calls from them. So please be careful while putting your details in the Naukri.com.
Okay, thank you so much. So next slide please. So I'll direct you towards a 3-step registration process. I have some screenshots with me. I'll just show them to you. Step 1, submit resume. Click on this button. Next slide. There will be some basic information that they would be asking. Be as honest as possible. There are general information, your preferred location, your preferred area where you want a job. Simple steps. Next slide. Step 3, upload your resume. You can have a document or you can just type it there. Now, how do you differentiate yourself from the rest of the group? There's something new that has come on, is a video resume. People do not use it that often right now, but it's going to be the next in thing, that's for sure. And I conducted a survey amongst my friends, and people who used video resumes, they got better calls. They got faster calls, and it just set their resume apart. That was you, because you were taking some extra effort. Suppose you and me do something, we upload our resume and we're almost similar, and I upload my video resume. And the company that's looking for candidates, they are able to see me communicate. They're able to see a video of mine. So that would be more beneficial. I'll show you a sample video resume next. So this person is a graduate from SP Jain, and I found it on YouTube, and I found this interesting. It's a short video, just 47 seconds. Technicalities. Even though I am an IT engineer, I can never trust technology. So let's, in between that time, let's ask you guys to share your experiences with job portal sites. You guys would have tried it. How good or how bad is it? Yes.
Capabilities in infrastructure.
And this video resume is especially more important for marketing guys, finance guys,
Information technology and management.
people who are looking for MBA jobs.
Capabilities in infrastructure planning, designing, software maintenance, support, development, consulting in various domains. And that has given me a holistic view of entire IT industry. I work closely with culturally diverse clientele, and that has given me a knack of understanding and managing clients and their requirement. I'm an innovator, and I carry an analytical mind challenges and I work hard towards them. Given my diverse experience, client exposure, and analytical skills, I'm looking forward to my profile in business analysis and consulting. Thank you for reviewing my resume.
Simple 47-second video, but it must have set that candidate apart. Want to add something? Okay, newspapers. Classified ads are there, but to be honest to you, for entry-level jobs, for the fresher jobs, it's rare. It's tough, but you'll have to do a lot of research, and for an entire week, you might find 1 or 2 job prospects that might interest you. They are important, but not that great source of jobs. Now, there's some revelation that has come out recently in the media industry about the posting of jobs online. And this is what this revelation is.
As far as the advertising of jobs in general, according to who you pay attention to, different reports. So I've seen a report from Dallas Truman Company that says 75% of all jobs are never advertised, simply because organizations will hire within. Again, that goes back to that organization will hire within because they know exactly what they're getting, and they don't have to worry about the process of interviewing and resumes and then potentially ending up with someone who's not a good fit. With an entry-level job, it is a little bit more difficult sometimes to find postings for those, or to find the job descriptions for an entry-level job, and there are several reasons for that. One of the reasons being most of those jobs are not posted because organizations are going to hire within. And another reason for that is simply money. It costs money for organizations to post jobs on the internet. Monster.com, CareerBuilder.com, all of these top-name websites cost a monthly fee for these organizations to post it, so they are not going to utilize those services for a part-time job, again, because going back to the difference between part-time and full-time, part-time being a prorated amount and the costs that are involved in that, it's not worth it to the organization to post. So you absolutely have to know where to look, and you can begin by just paying attention to your surroundings in your everyday life when you're going places. Sometimes you'll see a help wanted ad, or not help wanted ads, but you're going to see now hiring signs in local businesses and stuff. Asking questions, making phone calls, sometimes will also help assist with finding out who's hiring and where. Also looking in common part-time places, looking at a mall, looking at a fast food restaurant, going somewhere that's a large company like a PPD or Google or GE or anywhere like that. You're not as likely to find full-time jobs because those are career-related jobs, and so focusing on the organizations that are most likely to have part-time to temporary jobs are gonna help you when you're looking for entry level.
Okay, what is the takeaway from that video? What did you get from that video? What were the thoughts that were presented by the speaker there? Anyone like to share? Somebody? Yes.
Most of the jobs are not being posted on the websites.
Right. What he was essentially talking about was a bit of part-time jobs, but I had a talk with the HRs of 4 companies, and they kind of concurred this idea that at times companies do not post entry-level jobs for freshers onto these sites. At times, most of the times they do, but at times they do not. They leave this job to the employees of the companies to get them references, to people whom they know, people who are already there in the organization. If they're looking for a job for 1 year experience, 1.5 year experience, they would just look at some contract basis people who are already working in that company and who are not permanent right now. They'll try and make them permanent jobs. So I had a friend, he was working in ONGC, Oil Natural Gas Corporation, and he wasn't a permanent employee. He was offered a temporary job initially. but he took that job. He wanted ONGC as a permanent job, but he initially took that temporary job, and when the permanent postings came in, preference was given to those candidates who were already working on a temporary basis. He was an engineering graduate. He could have just left that job. He would not have taken that temporary job at that point of time, but it did help him eventually find the permanent job, right? So even if you lay your hands at a job that is not permanent at this point of time, don't miss that opportunity. There might be something big behind the scenes. So now the question is that if the jobs are not advertised, where do you look for them? Social network, okay. One idea. Any other ideas? Relatives, okay.
Logging into company website.
Right. Social networking, relatives, logging into company sites.
Friend circles.
Friend circles.
Consultancy.
Okay. You mean to say,
Somewhere
okay.
job consultancy.
Okay. Yes. Is somebody else also wanted to say something? Walk-in interviews.
There is one answer came from backside actually. What was that answer? Mr. Najib, I think. Najib has CGC. Yes, of course. The thing is, we provide jobs, we just facilitate the jobs which do not come in job portals, which do not come in newspaper. What we forward is the job referrals programs, where the internal candidate has to refer. Those kind of, jobs will not come. You will not be able to find that kind of jobs in newspaper, nor in website. So that kind of jobs we provide. So you need to, be in touch with the people who are providing such kind of jobs. Thanks, Najib.
So let's just have a look at what are the possible options. Blogs, social networking sites, company websites, one-on-one networking, relatives, friends, that all comes under one-on-one networking. Now, one interesting topic here is blogs. Now, do you guys have blogs? Some of you? Okay. And how many blogs have you subscribed to? How many blogs do you follow? One or two a day. So, how do you find the right blog where there will be a posting? Have you ever tried following a blog where you might get a job opening, an advertisement for a job opening? Yes?
Chetana's Forum.
Chetana's Forum, yes. When I was doing research, I found that Chetana's Forum was quite prominent on this regard. So you've done your homework. Anyone else? Right. These are websites. This is not, I'm talking about blogs. That's a site, right? Okay, fine. Next slide, please. I'll tell you a way where you can search the blogs. It's there on Google, but you might not have awareness of it. If you have awareness, then that's great. Supposedly, you are searching for a web designing job in Hyderabad. You will get some results for that. Google has this feature, advanced search, and there is a category called blogs. Click on this, you'll get all the blogs that have offerings of web designing jobs in Hyderabad. So that's a good way. Technology is there. Sometimes we're not aware of it, but once we get awareness, they're very helpful. Social networking sites. There are groups, web designing jobs, a special dedicated group for web designing jobs, and whatever job you're looking for, you'll get there. It's easy for companies also because they don't have to pay to post on these sites. They can just go and just freelancing they can do. Company websites. Someone pointed out, you have to make a list of at least 10 to 15 companies that you are targeting and upload your resumes onto those company websites. That's very important because they have a pool, they create a pool of the resumes, and whenever there is a job opening that suits your resume, you will get a call from them. So effective way, very effective way. The jobs that are not advertised, they're always there on the company websites at least. I took the screenshot of Tata Motors here. One-on-one networking. Now, how do you do one-on-one networking? Say you are here for this session, and as he pointed out, you have people from different walks of different companies, different walks of life. You can build a rapport with them, and you can just post your resumes, give your resumes, take help from them. But say if you don't have this medium, what do? You have to find out, it's kind of strange, it can be called spying or something, but you have to find out where the professionals, the job that you are looking for, where are they going? What are their hobbies? What are they trying to do? Right? I have just tried to figure out some of the groups, the clubs that are there in Hyderabad. Say you are interested in cloud computing, you need a job related to cloud computing. What do? Cloud computing group, that's there in Hyderabad. There is a website called meetup.com. Meetup.com. It lists down all the clubs that are advertised on that site. There are quite a number of clubs, at least 15 to 16 clubs are there. So according to your hobbies, according to your interests, you can join those groups. You will get to meet more people, and it will be helpful. Now, if you go to a stranger and you say, okay, my resume, can you just put it in a company? He might put it, but if you know someone, if you have met him once or twice, he would take special interest in your resume. He would give you some tips, he would help you all around. There might be good people who would do this anyways, but if you create a one-on-one rapport with them, it would be better. Right, so the Android application development group is there. So if you're interested in that, if you're looking for a job towards that, you can look for this group. Next slide. Photography group. A lot of software professionals today go into photography clubs. This is a big time hobby now. If you are interested, just join those clubs and you'll get to meet a lot of people. Great Hyderabad Adventure Club. This has a lot of members, 5,493. So this is a good resource for social networking. And finally, Toastmasters.
It's not final, it's again series. You can meet us on every Sunday, as we have, we have been informing you. Every Sunday we used to conduct programs. In Old City it is Urdugar Mogalpura, and in New City, in Tolichaki it is at Holy Fatima School. Now we are going to start one more in Yusufpura, that is in some school name, I don't know. You'll be notifying it by the email. Moreover, apart from this one, I'll make my people happy as well, because we have few people here who are from non-ITs. How many of them are from non-IT people who want to pursue that? See, most of the people are from non-ITs. So the thing is, the way the program is going on, the way to search the program, for a good job and everything, goes same with you guys as well. But the thing is, as far as the networking is concerned, for example, recently we had a very good seminar conducted by IEEE at Birla Institute of, Birla Auditorium in Birla Planetarium. How many of you have got a chance to attend it? How many of you got a chance to attend it? There is one guy here, and I think 2 more people are here. The thing is, you need to attend such seminars in order to grow your network. What is the best way to grow your network apart from Facebook and LinkedIn and all? Which is the best way? Sorry? Seminars, that is the one thing. Next thing, for example, you will be going for an interview, and there are some certain people will be attending with you. You don't know when they will get a job. Take a number of them, take their email IDs and all. It might be possible that after 6 months they may get a job in a very good organization. So you will be having a contact in that organization. In such way, you can grow your network. Growing network is a big strength now. If you see, how the higher officials in companies like Oracle, GE, Deloitte and all, they got placed. It is placed with respect to such kind of network only. Such kind of jobs will not be available in the newspaper or internet and all. So the best way to grow is to make a personal network with the people so that you get a very good job. Ishan, thank you.
Next slide, please. So you have to build your brand, connect with your contacts. There might be a lost friend, he might be there in some company, he might help you. So just look around on your Facebook profile, on your LinkedIn profile. You have LinkedIn profile? Okay, I see that a few number of people have LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is very important. Much more important than Facebook. LinkedIn is specifically for jobs. It's there as a professional site. It's there to build up your profile. It's there to look for jobs. It's there for the specific need that you have right now. So please do have a LinkedIn profile. Have connections there. Talk about your interest there. There has been a survey conducted that, maybe this is not for the entry-level job, but maybe in future this might help you. Maybe for entry-level jobs when you're just out of campus, LinkedIn might not be that effective, but as you move up in the ladder of your corporate world, LinkedIn would be more and more useful. Say you have a hobby of web designing. So how do you show it to the public? You build websites, that's it. But there's one more thing that you could do is write a blog on that. And if that blog becomes famous, people might contact you on the basis of that blog. Say you were interested in coding, and so how many of you are interested in coding? Okay, so you do coding regularly on websites or online? No, not online. Okay, there are sites, codechef.com, and a lot of sites that are there specifically for coding. And when you go in interviews, there when you say that I have this particular rank, they rank all the coders that they have. If you're really good, your rank would be pretty much high up there. And they have contests that are going on almost throughout the year. You can win iPods, this, that. There's a lot of stuff that you can win. So just keep pursuing your passion. Whatever the job that you're interested in, just keep looking all around you to develop that furthermore.
Ishan, I would like to ask Kiran to add some points to the topic that we are taking along.
Thank you. Ishan, excellent presentation as so far I've seen. How many people are aware where the things are happening? Like, how many people visited to Gachibowli? Please raise your hands. How many people visited Cyber Towers area? Everybody, right? More or less. Why did you visit? Huh? Louder. Okay. Those people who have not yet visited, can you please raise their hands? Did you know that there is something happening in Gachibowli area, in Madhapur and some other places like this? You would have heard of
Why people have not written GATE last year, if you are trying for this year? Any reason, specific reason? The only reason comes to me is, when people approach me is, they don't want to go for PG. That is post-graduation or MTech. But there is much more behind this one. The thing is, recently I have seen BHEL or IOCL, Indian Oil Corporation, they have aligned themselves to GATE examination. So there will not be any separate examination for IOCL entrance examination or BHEL entrance examination. You need to write GATE examination, and based on the rank that you will be getting in GATE examination, will be considered for the interview in BHEL or IOCL. There is no separate examination for this one. So my request is, especially for the people who are going for non-IT kind of job stuff, they have to write GATE examination. And apart from GATE, GATE will help you to prepare for ME, MTech, Baba Atomic Research Center if you are pursuing for research, civil services examination, and public sector units like DHL, ECIR, DRDO, BDL, central and state government jobs, organizations like Reliance and Tata Projects, and MNCs if you are trying for GE, Siemens, Honeywell, ABB, Schneider, Yokogawa. Improve basics. The only part is being a fresher, the company or the interviewer will not ask you any complex question because he knows that you are a fresher. So he'll expect only the basic terms from you. But try to improve your basics. And of course it helps you for preparation. Yeah, with this one we have ended up with the how to search for a good search topic. So thanks Ishan for